Britney Spears' judge has denied her emergency hearing request. And while I'm losing my mind, I'm so grateful for attorney Christopher Melcher back to help explain what is going on here.
Well, thanks, Andy, for having me.
So happy to have you. Here we go. Let's do this. I'm Andy Signore. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. And yes, I'm so happy to have Christopher Melcher. You were so great, Christopher. The fans were so happy to see you in the last one. So thank you for being here to try and offer some reasoning, some explanation as to what's going on, because I see a lot of fans freaking out. Now, for just a quick update, and then we're going to go straight to Christopher. The news today, there's not a lot to report on this except for the fact that, yes, Brenda Penny has denied the petition to advance the hearing date. And here is the document. It says X party application has been denied without prejudice. So Christopher, what does this mean?
So Britney's lawyer asked for the September 29th hearing date, where she wants Jamie Spears removed as a conservator to be moved up in time. She didn't want to wait that long. And I totally understand and agree with that request. September 29th, it's going to happen quick. It's going to come around the corner, but still every day, every hour counts because Britney's liberties are being taken away. So she said, hey, can't you find some time earlier on your schedule, Judge? Like, does the judge really have anything more important than this case? And so she said, hey, advance it, have it August 23rd. And Jamie agreed. He said, fine, if you want to move the hearing up, I'm fine with that. Jodi Montgomery, the other person in control, fine, I'm okay with moving the hearing date up. But then we get this result.
So it's a little weird, right? She knows there's a lot of eyes on her. And let's be fair, I'm not calling her corrupt because I don't know. I've been trying to do my own homework, but there's no evidence of corruption. I know a lot of people, and I want to talk about that with Christopher as well, but Britney Stan is out there calling her corrupt. Britney Stan can say what they want, but I've seen no evidence of that. I know that's not a popular thing to say, but where I'm confused, and I think why a lot of us are getting frustrated, is like, why wouldn't she have just moved it? Especially since, actually, here, I want to prove, she has moved a lot of hearings already for Jodi in this case, as I've gone through. Of course, we all have receipts here. The judge has had no problem moving things around for Jodi in the past. Why do you think this was a smart move on her part, knowing how many eyes are on this, to not just find another date in August or earlier in September?
It really doesn't make sense. I don't know what's going on in the court's calendar. Obviously, they have lots and lots of cases. These courts are burdened. But again, this is a super important case. Britney's waited a long time. She spoke on June 23 and said, hey, I'm being abused by this conservatorship. Brenda Penny, the judge, could have acted right then and there. She could have also acted on July 14th, had to wait for the petition to be filed for Jamie to be removed. Then it was originally set for December, moved it to September 29th, and saying, hey, let's move it even quicker. The judge could have done that. I assume that there's a lot going on in that court. And this can actually benefit Britney in a way, because her attorney is brand new to the case. She's only been on this since July 14th.
Right.
There's 13 years of litigation history to learn and talk to his client about and present this in admissible evidence for this really epic hearing to get rid of Jamie. It's a very important one that they win. So yes, they lost today, but it could make it better for Britney to have a little bit more time so her lawyer can come prepared, because we can't just walk into court and start saying stuff. We have to get evidence presented, like exhibits, documents, declarations by witnesses, and put it in a very particular form. That's very hard to do in a couple weeks. So having a little bit more time could actually help Britney.
I love looking at the positive like that. That's what Britney would do too, guys. So, but could that have been maybe the whole point? They're sort of prodding Jamie to sort of put things out there to attack her, to not sort of say things in her best interest, right? And maybe assuming, look, they're not going to approve this, but when we come in with all of this and prove you've let her sit for all this time, and this has been a problem for the longer. She shouldn't even be here. That could all only help the case in doing what sort of maybe her lawyer is trying to do.
I think that's exactly it. As a lawyer, strategically, we sometimes will bring things we know we're going to lose because we have other purposes. It's just like in a fight, you might jab, and then you hit your punch. This is what's going on. Look at what happened as a result of this unsuccessful application on its face to get the hearing date changed. Look at what happened. Jamie, we smoked out Jamie. Jamie files a response. Now we have Jodi filing a response. They're attacking each other.
Yeah.
Who cares about the date? We got evidence now of all this ongoing feud. We have statement on record by Jamie. Jamie's coming out and he said, hey, I didn't interfere with their vacation. I never denied that.
Right.
Well, that's either true or not. And now the more you get somebody talking, the better. The more times they go on record, then we can test that later on. So this may have been done strategically just to smoke Jamie out.
Right, and to get more people upset, to get more of a reason of why this was, you've ignored her for even longer. There's a lot of things that can be used. As frustrated as we are now and confused, there could be things. Now, all that said, I still find it hard to believe. I can't understand why she wouldn't just, with everyone else agreeing, including Jamie, why didn't she just try and find another time? Like, could it really be that they're just that busy? Or she's just not taking this seriously. I mean, she's gotten in trouble, right? She's been facing backlash before denying this request for a while, as you've said. What do you think? It's hard for me to believe that the judge, that the Britney's lawyer didn't think we're going to get this. No.
Well, here's the thing. It's one courtroom with lots and lots of cases. And so that courtroom would be open potentially from 8:30 in the morning to noon, and then 1:30 to 4:30. That's the working hours. And this is going to take evidence. There's going to be testimony. There's going to be argument. This is going to last half a day, if not, it could easily last a full day. Maybe, so does the court have a full day on its calendar between now and September 29th? No, there's no way. That calendar is packed. Every court's double, triple booked. So the only way that they could find time between now and September 29th is to kick another matter. So Judge Penny would have to go through her calendar and say, hey, the Britney request is more important than this other one that's already on calendar, already a promised reservation basically for another litigant. They'd have to kick that one out and put Britney in. Now they could do that. They could say, hey, this Britney request is emergent. It's important. We're going to kick this other matter out. But Judge Penny decided not.
It's interesting, and that's why I love these conversations, because sometimes you don't want to hear this. You just want to go, free Britney, what are we doing? But the reality is you're only proving the point of the Britney's judge probably was aware that there's no way they're going to get a full day to do this, only reinforcing the idea of this was the plan, perhaps, to do this. And also to give, while everyone's saying she's corrupt, and I don't know, let's do the homework and let's look into it all for sure, but maybe she really did take the weekend to try to find a way to fit it in and couldn't. I mean, that is a... Well, some people don't want to hear that, Christopher. Like, that's a possibility, right?
Well, that's right. We don't know what's going on in this judge's mind. We don't know the other obligations that the court has. And the court, I was expecting the court to rule on it Friday, because that's typically what happens in these ex parte or emergency requests. They're ruled on the same day. So here it came out Monday. So maybe the court did spend time over the weekend saying, hey, can I really kick another matter? But again, I think that the purpose was served by smoking out Jamie, getting that request.
Right.
And honestly, if you ever ask any lawyer, like, hey, do you want to do something tomorrow or do you want to do it next week? Every lawyer is going to say, give me next week, because
more time.
Time is our friend in litigation.
And that you brought the point that Jodi did respond. Jodi responded back, and the one question was, there was she sort of acknowledged that yes, there was a problem. She has worries about her health, but she can't. I thought I had the quote. There was a quote. She basically admitted to that. Yes, I have concerns about her health, but I can't release that here. And that she then used as an opportunity to fight Jamie, to say, stop the attacks. It's no good. This isn't in the best interest of Miss Spears. All of that only helps and reaffirms the case that I imagine Britney and their attorneys are going to have, which was, here it was. Lastly, Miss Mary is saddened under telephone call with Mr. Spears, made out of genuine concern for Miss Spears, and intended to reestablish a working relationship with Mr. Spears towards Miss Spears' mental health and well-being, is now being misrepresented and manipulated to gain some traction, sort of tactical advantage in the pending proceedings to remove him. That this is good for Britney that this is coming out, that Jamie's attacking, right?
Well, sure. So what I'm kind of reading between the lines is after June 23, when Britney first spoke openly in court, she made a lot of allegations. And then it seems like there was a phone call on July 9th between Miss Montgomery and Mr. Spears. And it's Jodi's basically saying, look, I was trying to rebuild some bridges with Jamie by kind of saying, hey, I understand how you feel. You're under attack. And I kind of agree with that some of these statements that Britney made were out of line. It seems like that's what Jodi's saying. She was trying to build some rapport with Jamie by kind of agreeing with him or saying, I feel badly for you.
Right.
And then Jamie comes out and on the attack against Jodi to basically say, oh, well, this is what you really said, which are these offensive statements. Now, Jodi denied kind of generally, but she didn't specifically say some of these statements weren't made. So
yeah, she says here, does have concerns about recent behavior and overall mental health. Because of medical privacy laws, cannot go into those concerns with any further detail, except to say that having her father continue to serve her as a conservator, as neutral professional fiduciary, is having a serious impact on her mental health. It's sort of a kind of a brilliant way to play both sides, if you will, right?
Yeah, so it's very possible that Jodi made the exact statements that Jamie has attributed to her, which would be really unfortunate if she said those things about Britney. But what's now being reinforced to Jodi is never trust Jamie Spears, because statements that you have made to him that you thought would be private and that you thought would help kind of restore some relationship between the two are now being used against you. So it just deepens the divide between the two of them. And I'll take that as a check mark for Britney in her column, because it's divide and conquer. And again, that was a product of this scheduling application.
Yeah, so lots coming out of this. Now, I do want to talk about this because there is all these sort of Brenda Penny's corrupt and all this stuff. Should fans be careful of this? Like, there's a website, it's like 100%. Like, I went to this website to do my homework. There's nothing on here that proves she's corrupt. There's a lot of people saying she's corrupt. Now, I have opinions on some of the judges and some of the decisions over time, but I mean, is there any basis in fans sort of going down this wormhole to sort of scream corruption, Christopher?
Not that I've seen. And look, I am openly critical of how the court has handled this from day one. Absolutely critical. They deprived Britney's rights without notice. Nothing has been done straight in this case. So I am openly critical of the court. And that's not a good thing for me to do as a lawyer that practices in that court.
He's got to be careful, guys. He's still out there. Exactly. He's a working lawyer out there, so he might have to see these judges. Yeah.
But there's a difference between making a bad decision or even being a bad judge or indecisive than being corrupt. And being corrupt, in my mind, is taking money. And I think that's what the allegation is, to do an official act. That is a very serious criminal allegation and really goes to the heart of a judge's integrity. I have seen zero evidence of anyone being paid, any judge being paid to do an official act. So I don't subscribe to that. But again, I don't know anything. I don't know what happened. I'm just saying I have seen no evidence of corruption. What I've seen is evidence of incompetence.
Yes. Well,
and there's a difference.
It's a good word, and I'm glad for that, because it's not the popular answer for a lot of people in this movement to hear, but we have to be more careful here. We can't let our emotions sort of take over. But incompetent judge is probably a fair word here. Incompetent judge, you could probably maybe get away with, because why aren't you doing? But even that might be unfair, because she may have tried to do this, but incompetent because what's taken her so long. Why didn't she react sooner? She said she would, but we don't have evidence of this yet. So it's easy to fall down this rhetoric, but I that's not what you're going to get here on this channel. If you want a cooler head to sort of make sure we're actually getting the facts and evidence and what's actually happening, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Go with the subscribe button, hit the bell, because YouTube doesn't always like us telling the truth about things. Smash the like button and leave a comment down below to help the algorithm of this video. It helps a lot to get this out there. Christopher, any final words?
Yeah, there's one final part of it, is that there's a big part of the court file that we can't see, which is the probate court investigators report. And so those are confidential. There was just one filed last week. So after these last hearings, Judge Penny did order an investigation. And so she has that report. We don't get to see that. So I'm again, just for cooler heads prevailing, there is information that the court has that we will probably never see. I know one of them was leaked to the New York Times. I don't know how that happened, but ordinarily we don't get to see that. So we don't have all of the information that the court has.
Interesting, good to know, keeping it honest. If you want more of that, go check out Christopher's channel. I'll put the link in the description so you can see it there. Go subscribe. Go check out his other work. Really appreciate you coming here. Look forward to you coming back. In fact, I want to do a video today. There's another huge story, guys, that I will be talking about, but this Britney news broke. But Roberta Kaplan, who aided Andrew Cuomo, resigns from the Time's Up movement. Guys, this is a massive story. Not just because she's Amber Heard's lawyer, but there's so much to talk about here about how the Time's Up movement was corrupt, really was corrupt. And I'm going to break that down for you later today. So if you haven't subscribed, please do to break some of this down, because there's a lot to digest here. So more coming here on Popcorn Planet. Christopher, always welcome here to talk about this. Anything, I love your insight. Always great to have you. Everybody, thanks so much again for watching. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.